Hey you! Do you suck at playing ULTRAKILL? But you love playing as a walking GoPro who genocides the last remnants of formerly humankind? Then listen here, because I'm about to tell you how to ULTRAKILL every enemy in ULTRAKILL. No shit. With style and ease. This is the third ULTRAKILL script that I've written. Let's hope it gets to the light of day. But before we start the video, I've got to talk about 3 things real quick. If you're watching this and you're new to the game, you may not know how to do some of the combos I'm going to show you in this video, nor have the weapons needed to do so. If so, I recommend you go watch another person's video on how to get the weapons or how to do particular tech first and come back later. With that said, I'll start discussing the contents of this video. For each enemy's entry, they will have an intro section that discusses their type, health, and first appearance, and then either an attacks or methods section. The attack section shows how many attacks they have, what damage they do, and if they are parryable, and the methods section will show 1 to 4 ways to kill an enemy. Filth, a lesser husk with 0.5 HP, first introduced in 01. For their attacks, they will lunge at you, dealing 30 damage to the player. This can be parried. To easily get rid of them, you can simply just projectile boost them. Alternatively, if in larger crowds, you can put down a saw trap and just sit in the middle of it. This will be difficult to do on Brutal, however. If you're too early game for any of those, you can always just shoot them with any revolver. It will instantly kill them. Lastly, you can also just hold down F with the Knuckle Blaster, causing an explosion to kill a large wave. Strays, a lesser husk with 1.5 HP, first introduced in 01. For attack, they will shoot a single unguided projectile at you, dealing 25 damage upon impact. This is parryable. It should also be noted that they will turn and run away from the player when approached. For methods 1 and 2, you can either shoot them with any revolver, or projectile boost them. Stalkers, a lesser husk with 3.5 HP, first introduced in 4.2. For their attack, they will slam a barrel of sand onto the nearest enemy, or the player, dealing 10 damage, and giving any hit enemies the sand effect. To kill a Stalker, I would recommend using the rocket launcher to blast them into the air, and then kill them once they're airborne. Schisms, a greater husk with 5 HP, first introduced in 03. To kill a Schism, you can simply use the pump charge after pumping it twice, and approach them and shoot them point blank. For its attacks, the Schism will fire 6 unguided projectiles in a spread, either vertically or horizontally. Each projectile does 25 damage and can be parried. Another way to kill a Schism is to become airborne, whiplash it towards you, and then shoot it point blank with any shotgun. Similarly, you can also whiplash them towards yourself, and then punch them with the Knuckle Blaster. However, this gives less style points. Soldiers, a greater husk with 2.5 HP, first introduced in 2.2. The soldier has 2 attacks. The first is a concentrated fire of 1 a regular-sized projectile and 5 other smaller projectiles, or a kick that deals 40 damage that can be parried when you come too close. To kill a soldier, you can either shoot it in the head with any revolver, ricochet it, or whiplash it while you're airborne, and shoot it with any shotgun. You can also shoot them in the body with any alt revolver. This will insta-kill them, or twice in the head with any standard revolver. You can also punch them point blank with the Knuckle Blaster. The Ferryman, a supreme husk with 90 or 30 HP, first introduced in 5.2. For the first method, you can set up a slab coin, and then follow it up with a rail coin. You can then set a saw trap right after. You can also set up a Royal Coin combo and then follow that up with an Alt Piercer Beam and 3 to 4 standard ricochets. The Ferryman also has an ass-kicking amount of attacks. The first and second are the Ore and Kick combo. The Ore is a vertical and horizontal swipe, while the Kick is 2 kicks. They both do 25 damage and the second attack is parryable. Then, a Spinning Loop, which does 25 damage and is not parryable. The Lunge does 25 damage and is not parryable. And then an Ore Slam, causing an explosion that deals 25 damage. This can be parried. The last is a Lightning Cast, where the Ferryman will summon a tracking circle that calls down a bolt of lightning, doing 35 damage, and that is technically parryable. The Sisyphean Insurrectionist, a supreme husk with 110 or 75 HP as a boss or common enemy, first introduced in 4.2. The Insurrectionist, as I'll be calling it, has 3 attacks. It can stop on the ground, similar to Cerberus, where it will deal 20 to 30 damage. It can also jump up into the air, look at you, and then throw its boulder at you while airborne, dealing 30 damage. And it can also throw its boulder at you, either overhead, around itself, or straight at you. All of these deal 30 damage. For the first method on how to kill an Insurrectionist, I typically set up a saw trap and use an overheat saw, and then I rail clean. Alternatively, for the second method, you can use a typical saw trap, slab coin him, and finish him off with projectile boosts or revolver ults. Drones, a lesser machine with 2 HP, first introduced in 1.1. The drone has 2 attacks, 3 small unguided projectiles dealing 25 damage, or a suicide bomb dealing 35 damage. To kill them, you can just projectile boost them. Alternatively, you can whiplash them and punch them with a knuckle blaster, causing a targeted explosion. Streetcleaners, a lesser machine with 4.5 HP, first introduced in 1.2. The way to kill a Streetcleaner is to shoot the fuel tank on its back, either manually or via ricochet. It should be noted that Streetcleaners will avoid explosions and shotgun pellets or nails. However, if you whiplash it, it does have a cooldown of 3 seconds before it can dodge. Using that cooldown to our advantage, we can whiplash them and then shoot them with a shotgun point blank while airborne. If there are too many enemies in the way or the room is too small to perform a ricochet vertically, you can shoot them twice with any alt revolver. If you whiplash a Streetcleaner from behind and punch it with a knuckle blaster while airborne, it will cause a targeted explosion. The Streetcleaner has the worst attack by far in the game. The Flamethrower, which deals 20 damage per tick, which can kill you very fast. Swordsmachine, a greater machine with 30 HP, first introduced in 0.2. The first method to kill a Swordsmachine is to set a saw trap and stay airborne until it takes enough damage to start buffering. Here I would recommend getting close and killing it with shotguns. For a cheaper alternative, however, you can shoot him with 1 Alt Piercer Beam and projectile boost him until his second stage. Then, rev up the chainsaw and let it pass through him multiple times, parrying it once it comes back every time. The first attack that we can see is a sword combo, consisting of 3 parryable horizontal swings, each doing 25 damage. Perform a shotgun blast, where it shoots 12 widely spread pellets that deal 25 damage each. Can be parried. The last attack is either a horizontal or vertical sword throw that deals 30 damage and can be parried. For the third method, which is much longer but much cheaper, you can just projectile boost or shotgun swap it. You can throw in some extra pumps or grenades to speed up the process. The Mindflayer, a greater machine with 30 HP, first introduced in 2.3. The first attack is a Hellseeker barrage, consisting of 5 guided projectiles that deal 30 damage. These are parryable. The next is a laser beam, dealing 35 damage per tick and is not parryable. If you get too close to the Mindflayer, it will swipe at you, dealing 30 damage. You can parry it, but it will not cancel it. On to the methods. The easiest way to get rid of a Mindflayer is to use a slab coin, and follow it up with a rail coin. After that, you can kill it however you want. You can also set up a rail coin, followed by an alt piercer beam, an alt heavy ricochet, and then projectile boost. Kill it. To mention, it can and does explode and deals 50 damage. It's not parryable, but you can push it out of the way with a knuckle blaster. The Sentry, a greater machine with 12 HP, first introduced in 5.1. The first of the Sentry's attacks is a hit scan beam. It will crouch and point a pink beam at you, beeping for a short period of time before hitting you for 50 damage. This attack is not parryable. The second attack is for when you get too close to the Sentry. It will kick you for 40 damage. This is not parryable. You can interrupt its charging by shooting it with any revolver though. For the first method, you'll want to wait until it begins targeting you. Then, approach it and shoot it in the antenna with either an alt piercer beam or the alt sharpshooter's heavy shot, and then that will leave it stunned for a moment, so you can finish it off however you would like. To kill it without focusing on it, you can also just set a saw trap. The Gutterman, a greater machine with 25 HP, first introduced in 7.2. For the first method, you'll want to break its shield with a knuckle blaster. Then you'll want to attach a jump charge cable to it and hold down the trigger, staying within close range until it dies. It should be noted that if you ground slam the coffin on the Gutterman's back, it will create a shockwave and destroy it. Second method, you'll want to break its shield. Then charge it the jackhammer, whiplash towards it, unwhiplash when you're close, and hit the alt grenade and the standard fire button in quick succession. You can then hit it with an alt piercer beam and projectile boost to finish it off. For the final method, you can also parry it as soon as it's done recovering from its shield being broken, where you can then attack it, or back up and approach again to parry its punch once more. For its attacks, the Gutterman will continue to fire its minigun at you, getting better accuracy over time. This deals 10 damage per tick. Similar to a lot of machines, if you get too close, it will punch you, dealing 35 damage with the shield and 25 damage without. The Guttertank, a greater machine with 23 HP, first introduced in 7.2. The fastest way to kill a Guttertank is to set a saw trap and shoot an overheat saw along with that. However, the most effective way to kill it is to fire a magnet onto it and then use the freeze frame rocket launcher. Freeze the rockets and then fire as many as you can before the timer runs out. For the Guttertank's attacks, it will fire a rocket at you. If the rocket's explosion radius cannot hit the player, the Guttertank will freeze it and explode it right there. It deals 35 damage and is not parryable. It can also set landmines by reaching behind its back. These will trigger when approached and flip up into the air. This deals 35 damage and can be parried. It will also punch you for 35 damage when approached. This cannot be parried, but if dodged, you can parry it after. The Malicious face, or Maurice, is a lesser demon with 15 HP, first introduced in 0.1. For the first method, charge the jackhammer, whiplash towards it, and release it once you're close, and then hit it. The cheapest way to kill Maurice is to whiplash towards it while charging it with speed. Double pump the overpump and shoot it again with any other shotgun in quick succession. The Malicious Face's first attack is a projectile barrage, consisting of 6 projectiles that deal 25 damage and can be parried. The second is a Malicious Beam that causes a 50 damage explosion. This can be charged back or interrupted. The third method is to whiplash Maurice and use the overheat nail gun. Don't be like me, you'll want to have the gun's alt fire fully charged. You can also grand slam on top of it to deal heavy damage. Cerberus, a lesser demon with 22 HP, first introduced in 05. The cheapest way to kill a Cerberus is a projectile boost and shotgun swap it. You can also throw in some grenades or chainsaws for style and fun. The quickest way to kill Cerberus is to fire a fully charged cannonball using the SRS cannon, letting it hit, and then whiplashing it and parrying it back into the Cerberus. The Cerberus has 3 attacks, the first one being an energy orb projectile that causes a 20 damage explosion. This is parryable. The second is a ground stomp, causing an unparryable shockwave that does 25 damage. Lastly, it may also dash at the player, again dealing 25 damage. This is unparryable. For the last method, if you're dealing with 2 or more Cerberuses, you can set a saw trap and then fire a fully charged cannonball to boost damage 1. Then use the alt piercer beam, shoot the cannonball, and finish off the other with projectile boosts. You can also do the same thing, but shoot the cannonball with the Malicious rail cannon, causing an explosion to both enemies. Mannequins, a lesser demon with 6 HP, first introduced in 7.1. For methods 1 and 2, you can either headshot them with the alt piercer beam and shoot them again with any revolver, or throw 2 coins and ricochet them with a standard revolver shot. For the third method, you can headshot them with the standard piercer beam. This will insta-kill them. They will either try to hit you with 2 30 damage unparryable attacks, or a single 30 damage parryable guided projectile. For dealing with 2 or more mannequins, you can set up a saw trap and stand in the middle of it, attempting to trick them into a melee combo. The Hideous Mass is a greater demon with 60 HP, first introduced in 1.3. To kill Hideous Mass, get underneath its stomach while it is standing up and use either the overheat nail gun or the jumpstart nail gun, then throw a royal coin through it. For the first attack, it will fire a series of 2 mortars twice. This each deals 60 damage and causes an explosion doing 40 damage. These are parryable. Its second attack is a slam, causing a horizontal shockwave that deals 40 damage. The third is a clap, causing a vertical shockwave that deals 20 damage, but 40 if caught in between the arms. Lastly, it can use its harpoon. If it hits the player, it will deal 25 damage and severely hinder the player's movement. This can be parried or broken with the feedbacker twice or knuckle blaster once. When the Hideous Mass enters its second phase, it will continue to fire mortars in rapid succession. You can just shoot the weird thing on its stomach with an alt piercer beam and projectile boost it if that doesn't finish it off. Virtues, a lesser angel with 10 HP, first introduced in 4.1. For its attack, it will summon a tracking circle that targets the player. After a short period of time, the center of the circle will be struck with lightning. This lingers for 2 to 3 seconds and does 30 damage. The easiest way to kill a Virtue is to double pump the shotgun and then hit it once or twice with any other shotgun. An alternative to this would be to charge the jackhammer, whiplash towards it and unwhiplash, and then hit it. And that, my friends, is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed watching this, and I did certainly love making it, even if I had to record every voice line over 2 or 3 times, because I stutter like crazy. But, anywho, thank you for watching all the way through. I really hope you like it. This is my first attempt at making really any sort of video, so let me know how you would like it, and if you would like more in the future. I'm thinking of releasing either a secrets guide or a tech guide, so let me know what you'd like to see.